Getting started with CYMA System Manager module. There's not too many areas that we need to focus on here. The company will already have been configured. The accounting periods, the important thing to realize here is that if you have a need to be working in a specific year and the year is not set up, typically happens at when somebody's trying to close their old year and they realize that they don't have a new year here, you can go ahead and set that up. Now the word to the wise is you probably don't want to create more than a few years in advance, as that could expand your data set prematurely, and you really don't need to have that many years configured at this point in time. So again, maybe a year or two and ahead, that's as much as you would need to do. And setting up this area is very easy. To set up a new year, it's going to automatically come across and recognize, well, hey, 2009 ended there. If I come in and I say 2010, it knows what my first day is, my last day. The periods are already calculated. I would just need to save. It's just that easy. Okay, moving forward, we have our maintain users. Now, every user should be set up in the system. If I say, like test here for our test user, and I should really give the user a password and confirm it. Why? And the reason is that if you have multiple users in the system and you have a need to find out who maybe entered in a specific invoice or whatever, it's very easy to identify that with CYMA's browsers because the user field is present quite often. And then you have some different options as far as the setup though, but usually the only things that will change here is if you want to use Smart Entry with sounds, it'll try to auto-complete things for you. If you don't like that, leave it off. Bookmark information, last is fine. Unless you're learning in maybe the demo company and you want to go ahead and change this around to your new real company so there's no accidents, and that is probably a pretty good idea to do. Again, just depending on if you're going to be going back and forth and as you can see down here on the bottom, we can see that we're in Sunny Day Hospice currently, so you always know where you're at. And the test company's configuration is going to be quite a bit different, so that's usually not an area of concern. Okay, under security, you could identify specific modules, specific companies. Again, I could say, well, maybe this user just has full rights to accounts payable. So I'll come over and give them full rights to accounts payable modules and reports, but they really can't work in the other areas, which is going to be prohibitive. So you don't want to lock things. If somebody has a need to occasionally go in and look at something on a general ledger, you could do something with specific view-only rights and those kind of things as well. But if it's somebody that you trust and they're doing a lot of work in the system and they need to bounce around in the modules a lot, you probably want to go ahead and just set them up as an administrator, which brings full rights over. Okay, preferences. The default startup page is what you're seeing. I'm going to move this out of the way. Is this big this big splash screen right here? And so you could come over to Multiview. You could say, hey, go to Multiview's website. World famous website. There we go. And we could save that off, and that way when this new user logs into the system, Multiview's website will come up. Obviously, you can go to any trusted site that you prefer, and that should display in this area. A very nice feature in the System Manager is our System General Import. The General Import allows you to import in just a myriad of different things into the system. You can save things, like if I just hit T here, that's Smart Entry. It's coming up for me, and it automatically recognizes this is a trial balance, or maybe a general, not general journal, but just a normal journal entry type of an import, so that again, if you have a very large classification, something coming over from a payroll system, beginning balance entries, any of those kind of things can be imported in. And as a matter of fact, if you were to come down here and look at all the different things that you can import into the system, they've just, and CYMA's had this capability for a number of years, and so it's just very proven. We use these kind of imports all the time. The only thing that you really, really must watch out for on these things is the replace all. The word to the wise there is don't guess. If it says replace all for GL transactions, that's not going to wipe out the old batch that you may have just imported in. That's going to replace everything in there. So it's going to give you alerts, it's going to give you warnings, but if you go ahead and you say, okay, that's what it's designed to do, should you just be in a situation where you're just getting started and you need to have a fresh start, that feature is built in there. Otherwise, ongoing, Multiview, we can help set up your different import scripts, keep you safe from having to set a new one up every time, and you'd only just need to change your source file and move on forward. So just a really wonderful area. We've used it for just many years with serving hospices.